Hello and welcome to Spectrum News. I am Oyai Anyeka and coming to you live from the beautiful hills of Ibiakuran. Let's take a look at the headlines. President Buhari meets with 7 APC governors. Court convicts 2 Abakari Code defendants. China COVID-19 application restrict residents after banking protest. Details of these stories and more in a moment. We begin the news with a report that National Information Technology Development Agency has disclosed that interactive computer service platforms and internet intermediaries are required to fulfill certain conditions in running their services in Nigeria. These conditions are stated in the recently released Code of Practice for Interactive Computer Service Platforms, Internet Intermediaries. Reports say the Code of Practice was developed by NITDA alongside the Nigerian Communications Commission and National Broadcasting Commission, with input from platforms such as Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, Google, and TikTok. Meanwhile, one of such conditions in the Code of Practice is that each online platform is required to have a country representative who will interface with the Nigerian authorities. This means that Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, Google, TikTok, and other interactive online platforms are required to have country representatives. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has met with 7 governors of the All Progressives Congress APC at the Council Chamber in Abuja. The governors present were those of Kebbi State, Atiku Bagudu, Nasarawa State, Abdullahi Sule, Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, Plateau State, Simon Lalong, Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, Jigawa State, Mohammed Badaru, and Kaduna State, Nasiru El-Rufai. The meeting comes 1 week after the presidential primary of the party. It could be recalled that after the emergence of Bola Tinubu as the APC presidential flag bearer in the 2023 elections, President Buhari had asked all members of the party to unite and support him. Away from that, National Peace Committee has appealed to the residents of Ekiti to choose peace over violence in the coming governorship election in the state. Chairman of the committee and former head of state, General Abdul Salami Abubakar, made the appeal in a statement. He urged the people to come out without fear, but with hope to exercise their franchise and vote to deepen the democratic process in the state. General Abdul Salami also advised the youths not to make themselves pawns in the hands of political class, but to be aware that the security, stability, and future of Nigeria remained their common patrimony. He urged everyone taking part in the election to follow due process, conduct themselves with civility and patriotism, and ensure they do not take the laws into their hands, no matter the grievances in the poll. The election is reportedly scheduled for June 18, 2022. On electoral matters, Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) says it is ready to conduct a good governorship election in Ekiti State. Speaking during a televised interview, Chairman of INEC's Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye, said the commission would deploy the bimodal voter accreditation system for the June 18 election. Okoye, who noted that INEC Chairman Mahmood Yakubu was already in the southwestern state, added that stakeholders would sign the peace accord tomorrow. On judicial matters, a federal high court in Abuja today convicted and sentenced 2 co-defendants in a suit filed by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) against suspended DCP Abba Kyari over an alleged drug deal to 2 years imprisonment. Justice Emeka Nwite, in the judgment, said having admitted to committing the offense preferred against them in counts 5, 6, and 7 by the NDLEA, Chibunna Nwebe and Emeka Ezenwanye, who are 6th and 7th defendants, Justice Nwite thereafter sentenced them to 2 years imprisonment on each of counts 5, 6, and 7. He said the terms, which shall run concurrently, would commence from the day the defendants were arrested by the NDLEA. Reports say the 2 defendants, Umebe and Ezenwanye, who are 6th and 7th defendants respectively in the matter, are the 2 alleged drug traffickers arrested at the Akanu Ibiam International Airport in Enugu by the Nigerian police and handed over to the NDLEA. To the legislature, where the Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigeria, PASAN, of the National Assembly has suspended its strike. Recall that the workers embarked on an indefinite strike since penultimate Monday to press home demands for payment of some allowances. Addressing the workers at the entrance of the National Assembly today, the PASAN chairman, Sunday Sibiyi, said that they agreed to suspend the strike following some agreements reached with the leadership of the Senate. The workers, however, threatened to resume the industrial action if agreements reached were not implemented by the end of July. In education, the Academic Staff Union of Universities has threatened to query universities that have failed to comply with its decision to remain on strike while negotiations with the federal government continue. ASU President Professor Emmanuel Osadike said this in an interview with newsmen in Abuja. Recall that ASU had been on strike for the past 5 months to press home its demands. Reports say the striking lecturers' demands include funding of the revitalization of public universities, earned academic allowances, university transparency accountability solution, and promotion areas. Others are the renegotiation of 2009 ASU and federal government agreement and the inconsistency in integrated personnel payroll information system. However, since the union embarked on strike, some of its members have pulled out of the ongoing strike to resume their academic activities. But Osadike said that the union will punish those who have pulled out from the ongoing strike. In education, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board have said that the transfer of candidates from one program to another in any tertiary institution can only be effected with the consent of candidates concerned. The JAMB Registrar Professor Ishak Oloyede made this known in the bulletin he made available to newsmen in Abuja. Oloyede stated that the warning was in line with the board's policy, which disallows tampering with the preferences for particular programs or courses as expressed by candidates unless he or she indicated otherwise. The bulletin is also to clarify the call by some institutions that JAMB allow them to transfer candidates from one program to another within the institution's caps at no extra charges to the students. Elaborating on the workings of the central admissions processing system, the registrar said the transfer process is automated on CAPS and can only be effected with the consent of acceptance of the candidate. On the foreign scene, authorities in the Chinese province of Henan are suspected to be restricting some residents' movements using a COVID app following rare protest. Reports from Chinese media outlets say people are being forced to quarantine, blocked from public transport or entering buildings. Most appear to be customers or rural banks, which had run into issues providing cash withdrawals. Recall that the banks froze deposits, prompting angry demonstrations last month. Meanwhile, China's banking and insurance regulator has since ordered an investigation into banks where over 39 billion yuan is believed to have been frozen, affecting hundreds of thousands of customers. In sports, Serie A giants Napoli have celebrated their Nigerian striker Victor Osimhen after he netted 4 goals in the Super Eagles' 10-0 win against Sao Tome and Principe. The Eagles recorded their second win in Group A of the 2023 AFCON qualifiers by recording their biggest ever victory in history. Osimhen was the star of the game as he netted 4 times and also provided an assist. Recall that the last time a Super Eagles player scored 4 goals in a single game was the late Rashidi Yekini in a 7-1 win against Burkina Faso in 1991. However, the trio of Terem Mofi, Ademola Lookman and Emmanuel Dennis opened their goals accounts for Nigeria, while Ogenekaro Etebo and Moses Simon were also on target. Following Osimhen's feat, Napoli celebrated their top scorer for last season. Meanwhile, Osimhen is the current top scorer in the 2023 AFCON qualifiers with 5 goals so far. On entertainment, Nollywood actress Mercy Ahibe has revealed the reason for her public altercation with Omolara Olukotun, a Lagos businesswoman popularly known as Larit. According to our reports, Ahibe, who took to her Instagram stories to narrate that's what inspired at the event, she claimed that Larit had insulted her on social media several times, despite the fact that in the past she had patronized Larit's business and vice versa, adding that Larit also continued the beef at the event despite several requests from other attendees to stop. Recall that the said squabble happened at a star-studded event on Sunday. Videos making rounds on the internet shows that the duo got into an argument that escalated after Larit threw a bottle at the actress. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do be sure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, SpectrumTv.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News. I am Uyai Aniakan. Enjoy the rest of your day.